beautiful thing right now.
Rise and shine, it's a beautiful day. I am alright.
About a third of the building has been blown away.
This is the bridge to the white light.
Our very freedom came under attack in a series of deliberate and deadly terrorist acts.
And at that point, we were taken for another round of questioning, this time related to our allegedly being members of Mossad.
Crazy evil.
Good morning, good morning. Welcome to the No Way Jose podcast. This is The Morning Dump. I am your host, Jose Galison. Was it September 8th? Monday morning. A little dreary here today, but I got a workout in. No run today, taking a little break. I'm going to pick it back up tomorrow. My legs have been throbbing lately. Getting a little worried I might kick up some shin splints or something, so I got to take some time off here and there. I'm a big boy, and I run fucking fast. So I got to give those little twigs some rest. So yeah, here I am with you guys today. I hope you guys have done something productive with your morning as well, but if you haven't, here I am with you now to do just that. We're going to go through some info for today. I see some of y'all rolling in. Well, while we wait for more of you guys to show up, let's kind of do the morning video. Today's morning video is a little bit more substantive. I thought about maybe finding one of the numerous influencers out there who took this little piece of information and ran with it like fucking raving retards. And I will kind of go into numerous reasons up to and including essentially the person who made the original claim now backing off of it. But I'll give you numerous reasons why this claim is retarded to run with on so many different ways. But that's enough hemming and hawing about that. Let's go ahead and get into the claim specifically I'm talking about here. This is, I don't think we talked about this on Friday. I think this sort of hit us right. It was either Friday evening or hit us on the weekend or something. So it kind of, we got to sit in this. I know I did talk about it on Tyler's show. So it was a little bit, you caught late night Jose. So you caught me a little bit more, been puffing the ganja, and it was late at night. Had my glasses on. So a little bit more, I mean, I don't know, a little less prepared, not prepared, together, I guess you could say, than I typically am, as if I really ever am. But I was on Tyler's show. We talked a lot about this because I hadn't had the chance to talk about my show. So you can kind of you're going to get, I guess, somewhat the refined version of what I gave there. I do just go and check it out. It's always nice when me and Tyler hang out. I'm sure I'll have him back on the show again sometime as well here. But yeah, let's go through. Let's watch this video I'm talking about. Here's Mike Johnson. I guess this was like a Friday night-ish, I think, give or take. Was it September 5th on this 5? So yeah, it was afternoon on Friday. Yes. So let's go ahead and watch this.
But Trump called it a hoax yesterday.
What Trump is referring to is the hoax that the Democrats...
By the way, sorry, it is pretty quiet. It is what it is.
He has never said or suggested or implied. I've talked to him about...
Actually, let me start over again. It was partially my fault.
Trump called it a hoax yesterday.
What Trump is referring to is the hoax that the Democrats are using to try to attack him. He has never said or suggested or implied. I've talked to him about this many times.
It comes across as calling the whole thing a hoax.
It's been misrepresented. He's not saying that what Epstein did is a hoax. It's a terrible, unspeakable evil. He believes that himself. When he first heard the rumor, he kicked him out of Mar-a-Lago. He was an FBI informant to try to take this stuff down. The president knows and has great sympathy for the women who have suffered these unspeakable harms. It's detestable to him. He and I have spoken about this as recently as 24 hours ago. What he's talking about is the Democrats who are doing this with impure motives. If they cared so much about this, why didn't they do something during the 4 years of the Biden administration when the Biden DOJ had all the records? They didn't say a word about it. Now they're doing it for political purposes. Not everybody, but a lot of them, and that's what the president's frustrated about, and we all are. that they're creating a hoax just like they did with the Russian dossier because they think it's going to somehow be mud thrown on him. It's not. He has no culpability in this thing at all. The president has clean hands. He wants all the records out. He has told me that himself.
Should he meet with the victims? Should he meet with the victims?
I suspect he probably will. Yeah, he has great compassion for them. The president has a very compassionate heart. He hates the fact that these women suffered those harms. He hates what Epstein is accused of and who he was. And when he recognized that, he realized Epstein wasn't just some sort of, socialite. He was an evil person and alleged to have been involved in evil schemes. And the president distanced himself before he was president from that because that's not who he is. And I think he's being falsely accused and maligned. And that's a frustration of all of ours. That's what he's talking about when he says that.
All right, you may have missed in there at one point he said that he was an FBI informant. Actually, let's watch it again. Let's find the specific. I think it was early in the beginning. I was doing something. I missed the specific one. Let's play it again.
The hoax yesterday. Is
What
it a
Trump
hoax?
is referring to is the hoax that the Democrats are using to try to attack him. He has never said or suggested or implied. I've talked to him about this many times.
It comes
He is
across as
horrified.
calling the whole thing a hoax.
It's been misrepresented. He's not saying that what Epstein did is a hoax. It's a terrible, unspeakable evil. He believes that himself. When he first heard the rumor, he kicked him out of Mar-a-Lago. He was an FBI informant to try to take this stuff down.
He was an FBI informant to try to take this stuff down. Yes, that's the quote right there. Okay, cool. I thought it was earlier on. Whatever. We played the whole thing to get fuller context. Not that it really redeems himself in any way. But so whatever. That way we can't be saying we're taking him out of context. I mean, I don't know exactly what he meant by that. Well, I mean, there is, I've already seen, I have something collected for today that I haven't looked through yet that says some sort of, I think it's from the Washington Post, an article about Mike Johnson backing off of this claim already. Now, I guess to be fair, maybe what he meant, just getting ahead of it, and maybe to give him the slight bit of he's not full of shit and or whatever, maybe what he meant is references like publicly available information, such as claims that from Brad Edwards, I believe the lawyer who claims that that Trump helped him out here and there. Although that would be different, that'd be helping out the lawyer as opposed to helping out the FBI. So, although I guess I could see how maybe one could kind of conflate the two, considering the lawyer and the FBI theoretically would be, considering the lawyer is representing the victims of Epstein, and the FBI is theoretically supposed to be pursuing justice. It would make sense how they would work, kind of hand in glove to some extent. So maybe you could see how one could jump from one to the other, or obviously some the only other thing would be because Trump told him this. There's something that we don't know, the general public, which apparently there was kind of some funniness to that. There was all sorts of White House officials, I guess, scrambling, like, what the fuck? They're like, what is even our messaging? Because he kind of threw it all, because it's like, did Trump tell them something? We don't know. Which I guess maybe we'll find out here in a minute when we go through the article. But let's even say that is the case. Let's say Trump is an informant of some sort. Now, what does this really mean? Does this really mean shit? Like, okay, for one, there's a million. That kind of opens like a bunch of other questions on its own already. It doesn't necessarily make things better. One, for one, that the quote we got there does not necessarily warm my heart that what he literally means, or that this is supposed to mean, if we're trying to assume truth from Mike Johnson here, if that's supposed to mean he's particularly going after some sort of pedophilia of some sort, and it's because he's against that or something. There's a lot of assumptions that come into here to just throw in, and he was doing this, so this upholds the case. I don't know if that necessarily upholds the case, even if that is true. There's a million reasons why one can become an informant, and they're not always necessarily under the most forthcoming or willing of circumstances. So, and if anything, if Epstein was in some sort of something in which the feds were going after him, Trump getting caught up in it, if anything, I would presume in this sort of thing, unless he was the one who opened up the whole case to begin with by coming to them, which, in fact, that's the case, you assume you'd want the Epstein files to be released so you could show what a great hero you are. But if anything, it would actually probably imply more that you're actually likely to some degree caught up with the criminal operation to some degree, because, and they may even have something on you, because kind of turning witness type deal. Tale as old as time with the feds. Otherwise, why would he turn on him? I mean, I know there's talks about because he got super upset about something Mar-a-Lago. That always gets portrayed. There's rumors that float around, although it's never substantial, about that's something to do with apparently Epstein flirted with some young girl there. Although then what I think were probably more substantive claims have come out later that seem to imply perhaps it was more likely over a land deal. I think Trump may even have given some credence to that. I think it's hard to keep track of all the different claims. But either way, it's not necessarily even clear what that was even over, this whole falling out. It may have been some sort of land deal. Who knows? Maybe it was a put-on because he knew he was going to be running for president and he didn't want to be associated with this guy. I don't fucking know. Point being is to just throw this in there all willy-nilly, like, oh yeah, he was an FBI informant. That doesn't necessarily help your case. In fact, it may even make your case worse. So all the more reason for, hey, okay, release the fucking files. Yeah, and then more. Here's an historical example. I brought this up on Tyler's show. This is from a favorite follow of mine, IRC_NIC. Covers a lot of the Dutroux stuff, which I've been doing the ongoing series with Austin recently. For those who are interested, go check that out. Go check out that playlist. We're 4 episodes in. Probably should schedule a fifth episode here soon. But either way, Michel Nihoul, if you guys have been following along with that, you're aware that he was, if anything, he was actually kind of the Epstein character, in my opinion, the more accurate archetype of an Epstein in the Dutroux affair. The Dutroux affair is a little bit different, and it almost seems like in the vein of how history rhymes, but it doesn't it doesn't repeat, but it rhymes. This is kind of this similar example, in my opinion. Like the Dutroux and then the Dutroux Nihoul, and also there's also another theory. What is it called? There's a theory about this, about time, and how it's like a circle, but yet it's kind of a spiral, almost like a helix. Like we're elevating. So an example of this would be the Dutroux Nihoul example. Because when this thing first popped off, the Dutroux affair, it was Dutroux that was the thing that was honed in on. He was kind of a lesser component of this disgusting operation. He was kind of the bag man. He was the on the ground. He was the one who was seemingly running a gang of car thieves and stuff. They were essentially laundering cars so they could be used in kidnappings and stuff without being able to, or transporting certain VIPs, doing illicit actions without being able to be tracked. And he was the one who was organizing the individuals who were kidnapping the girls. He might have been the one he was kind of more on the ground, the on the ground, I guess you could say, of these sorts of disgusting things. Whereas Nihoul was more the Epstein. He was the mover and the shaker. He owned a bunch of different things. He was hobnobbing with maybe not quite to the extent of an Epstein, but he was kind of in that vein. He was, I think he owned multiple radio stations and some clubs and, some things about town. He was a well-known guy. He was well-connected. He was a radio guy. It was a big thing at that period of time. Radio was the thing. So it's similar, but my point being is how things kind of rhyme, but they're not the same, and maybe they kind of almost elevate to some degree. Now we're dealing with the Epstein thing where we're focused on Epstein, likely a higher-up player as opposed to Dutroux. But anyways, Nihoul was the one they kept trying to make the connections from Dutroux to Nihoul. Nihoul did end up, for those, spoiler alert for, I guess, this whole series, Nihoul does get off light with, I believe, a few months for some drug charges or something, whereas Dutroux is still in jail to this day, despite the fact he's made all sorts of claims about the wider network and all the craziness somehow. And it's just completely implausible that he did it alone. Either way, point being is one of the things Nihoul used to escape association with Dutroux was this very tactic as well. The same exact thing that Donald J. Trump has been using right now. So to be fair, I was just before giving the scenario of we're just assuming it's all truth. Now this is once again, this is effective lying too, to some degree effective. A little bit seemingly desperate, in my opinion, if you're at this point where you're claiming, oh, no, I'm an informant. You're just kind of delaying. Once again, there might be some level of truth in this, but it just seems to be some level, either delaying, lying, some combination, because, I don't know, we just gotta ham it up. But, all right, let's go through this. Like it says, from IRC_NIC, great account for following stuff about the Dutroux affair and Gladio stuff, too. I said, this is one of the defenses Michel Nihoul used when asked about his relationship with Marc Dutroux. Nihoul was an informant for a gendarmerie named Gerard Vanesse, and he pretended he was using his informant cover to infiltrate the Dutroux network. Yeah, exactly. Which, if for those who are familiar with the Dutroux affair, and honestly, if I'm going to be completely frank with this case as well, it probably would make sense too. The idea that you're like, oh, I'm an informant. You're like, okay, so fucking what? If you were aware of the gendarmerie and how the degree to which they were complicit in the Gladio operations going on at the time, particularly the Brabant killings, and then even then, some of this Dutroux stuff is just almost unbelievable that any of this stuff could happen without turning a ridiculous blind eye. There were multiple seedy characters who had multiple informants on them in the case of this, and still nothing. It's, if anything, sometimes the darker the network you're dealing with, it's not all that uncommon. It seems like perhaps informants aren't so much in fact, like in truth, a way of being like, oh, look, this is how we're getting to the truth. It could actually be a way to obfuscate it and prevent it from getting out. Essentially, if you have informant networks, it doesn't necessarily have to be for good. It's to make sure, oh, hey, so, someone's caving or someone did this, or to keep the network operating. All right. So let's keep going. So too long didn't read here is Michel Nihoul procured drugs through a deal made with his handler Vanesse, drugs he then gave to Lelièvre and Dutroux, which possibly were the payment for the kidnapping of Laetitia Delhaize. So yeah, so once again, this is a thing where there is truth to it to some extent. Nihoul sort of, I guess you could say, was an informant to some degree. But it sounds like this handler, Vanesse, was probably a dirty cop as well. And he was just the one who was the go-between for this drug deal, which was likely being used to pay for one of these kidnappings. And then here you go. Here's more. So the price paid by Lelièvre for this delivery, nothing. It was a free delivery, part of an infiltration mission entrusted to him. The desired goal was simple, to trace the channels through which Lelièvre was going to sell the ecstasy. So, yeah, so this is part of the claim from Michel. Nihoul pretends he said to Vanessa the following: I'm on a case, a certain Dutroux from Charleroi. Don't move, I'll tell you when to intervene. The only evidence is a paper note that could have been forged at any time. No date, nothing official. So, yeah, there you go. There was this is the proof that then later comes out. To prove that yes, that he was an informant, and he had a little note that said this. So I'm on a case, certain Dutroux from Charleroi. Don't move, I'll tell you when to intervene. And that was supposedly supposed to be to the other person, which it could be any time. That was just a note, so this could have been a post facto type thing. Then IRC NIC also says, you'll also note that the telling the gendarmerie not to move on Dutroux while being aware of his activities might not be the hero move that could have been that Nihoul seemed to think it was. Nihoul changed his version quite a few times before admitting 6 years after his initial arrest that he did provide the drugs he acquired illegally from a gendarme during a sting operation to Dutroux and Lelièvre. And then more, and then all the furthermore why, like, who fucking cares and how common this is. Epstein himself has done exactly this. Epstein himself was almost certainly a fucking, and I've mentioned this multiple times. I couldn't remember where the fucking source of this was. So thank you, Grok, for once. I use Grok here to hunt this down. Epstein himself has done this. Epstein turned witness against one of his former mentor against the feds doing something very similar. Here's an example. I asked Grok to find it for me. Stephen Hoffenberg. This was Epstein's mentor. He was a convicted fraudster who founded Towers Financial Corporation, was Jeffrey Epstein's mentor in the late 1980s. Hoffenberg hired Epstein as a consultant, paying him $25,000 per month, and the two worked closely on various financial deals, including attempted corporate takeovers. Hoffenberg later claimed Epstein was deeply involved in the massive Ponzi scheme at Towers that defrauded investors out of around $460 million, describing Epstein as the architect of the scam. Epstein left Towers in 1993, just before the company's collapse, and was never charged in the case. Hoffenberg pled guilty in 1995 and served 18 years in prison. According to reports, Epstein avoided prosecution by secretly cooperating with federal authorities against Hoffenberg, providing at least 3 interviews to prosecutors. Had the case gone to trial instead of Hoffenberg's guilty plea, sources indicate it could have exposed Epstein's role more severely. Hoffenberg repeatedly accused Epstein of betraying him and using the stolen funds as seed money for his later ventures, though Epstein denied significant involvement. Hoffenberg died in 2022. Now these sort of things make me wonder. Now, obviously, I have not dug into this enough. These sorts of things make me wonder, like, do the glowies of the world attach themselves to certain sorts of operations, knowing that, like, hey, I have certain connections and I can kind of coordinate the destruction of such a thing, and I can essentially manifest myself as a parasite on its dying carcass. And able to essentially to then further leverage other operations I'm doing at the same time. I don't know, interesting, because I mean, it's always thrown about like how there's drug deals and stuff with black book operations and obviously human trafficking. So it's like this would be another scams, doing stuff like this and utilizing your connections to government, knowing that, hey, I'm too big to burn, and hey, if I insert myself in the situation, and then also if I turn witness, I can kind of, manufacture the situation and kind of walk away scot-free because they're not going to get me, and I'm able to hide things on the way out. I don't know. Maybe I'm overthinking it. Either way, point being, it's like, okay, cool. Epstein was a fucking informant. What is your point? Cool. Like, all right, cool. I'm gonna need more. And then obviously, then we have the fact that it seems like it's bullshit. So here's Massey. He said it was a fantastical story for about a day. What compelled former career attorney Mike Johnson to claim the president was an FBI informant? And he has an excerpt here from the Washington Post. And it says, on Wednesday, many of the victims said that hearing Trump brush off their abuse as a hoax was devastating, and several repeatedly insisted the issue is not a partisan one. This is not a hoax. Haley Robson, who noted she's a registered Republican, said Wednesday, this is real trauma. Representative Thomas Massey, a Republican who is a co-sponsored proposed legislation, said Sunday that he didn't know whether Trump was an FBI informant. So the lawyers for the victims said that Donald Trump had been helpful in 2009 in their case by giving them information. But being an informant implies some formal connection and an ongoing relationship with the FBI, Massey told ABC's This Week. I think the speaker needs to clarify that. And if it's a hoax, why was Donald Trump an informant to a hoax? Well, what he's sharing here is House Speaker Mike Johnson backed off his claim that President Trump was an FBI informant in the case of sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. Let's look into this. Oh no, it's Washington Post. Whack. I'm sorry. I've been really good about doing this lately, where I check to make sure it's not a paywalled thing or something. Well, never mind. Just kidding. Crap. Let me see. Let's see if we can find it. Let me see. On Sunday, his office released a statement modifying his claim. The speaker is reiterating that the victim's attorney said, which is that Donald Trump, who kicked Epstein out of Mar-a-Lago, was the only one more than a decade ago willing to help prosecutors expose Epstein for being a disgusting child predator, the statement from Johnson's office read. Okay, well, there you go. So he's literally saying I got it wrong. He's restating that what I kind of gave, like, whoa, what the hell just happened? I just realized I don't have screen. I just lost the screen. That's weird. Well, you guys are still there. All right, well, give me a second. That was very odd. Let me bring up the screen again. Just totally booted it. Here we go. I don't think I played any videos or anything, though, so we're good. Whatever. That was weird. All right, here you go. Here's the quote again. I'm sorry. I got it highlighted here for those who want to see it. Although I guess it doesn't matter. I didn't really need a visual aid here. It just threw me off when I came back to the screen and it was gone. Once again, there we go. I got to bring it up. I'm sorry. StreamYard keeps changing things. So it used to be that when I hit share screen on the bottom, I didn't then have to also then manually go to the thing. So that's why I keep screwing up to bring it up sometimes. But just now, it literally just kicked it. So I don't know what. So hey, if anyone from StreamYard's listening, fix your shit. All right, let's get back to it. Sorry. Anyways, what it showed there is, yeah, that seems to be the case. The thing I said that maybe he meant was the Brad Edwards statement. That yeah, he was super helpful. That's about it. So the victim's attorney that said that he was super helpful. That's it. And then, but that didn't stop all the influencers from running with it. I mean, hell, I was super close to, but I just didn't want to wallow in this grounds again. I was super close to bringing up the Tim Pool video where he was entertaining this to make fun of him. I mean, I think he ends it with like, well, I'm not saying this is necessarily the case, but it's like, it's the idea you're even floating it out. It's kind of frankly fucking retarded. I'll be honest, anyone who ran with this, like, seriously, like, oh my God, it's an informant, like, oh, he's going against Epstein. Oh, maybe he just didn't want to, like, maybe the whole thing is like he doesn't want to get burned as a mole against the elite. That's why he doesn't want the files to come out, because then he won't be able to more effectively root out their evil. Because then now they'll like think that they think he's on their side right now, and like, but if it comes out, then they'll be like, oh my God, holy shit, he was like actually anti-establishment the whole time. It's like, no, that's retarded. Anyone who even gave like even frankly the tiniest bit of like I frankly was hesitant to even like give any like there's a pause, because there's technically like there is truth to this possibly, but if there is truth to it, I don't think it's necessarily what is being implied. Like the he's like, especially where he ham-fisted that in as like some sort of argument to like, I need more information. Why were you an informant? Informant for what? I need a whole fucking lot more. If anything, all you're doing is increasing the reasoning for why I need them goddamn files. So yeah, but that is after all this, and despite everyone like fucking idiots running with it, we just go back to what I meant was they were super helpful. Luckily I was a little bit concerned with all the fucking idiots running with this, but hey, once again, I think they've just shown themselves to be fucking idiots. So when you see these idiots, remember this from now on. Those are idiots. When you see the Tim Pools of the world that would even proffer this up as an explanation without feeling the need to laugh about it, of how ridiculous it is, these are the fucking idiots of the world. Actually, not even idiot. Tim Pool knows what he's doing. They're like the Phils of the world. They're idiots. There are definitely idiots, but there's also the ones that know what they're doing. So just saying. But luckily, it doesn't seem to have made a dent in the effectiveness of this current political push. So let's see what Massey and Rokana have to say of the status of the, what is this called? The discharge thingy, whatever. What do they call it? This is whatever the stupid bureaucratic notion they're pushing. Let's play this.
Congressman Khanna, the effort to pick up Republican signatures appears to have stalled for right now. Are you still confident you have the 218 votes needed to force a vote on this discharge petition?
We have the 218 votes. 216 already support it. There are 2 vacancies that haven't been reported as much, but 2 Democrats are going to be joining, and they are both committed to signing it. That's going to happen by the end of September. But I want to just say this is not a political issue. This has nothing to do with Donald Trump. This is a moral issue. It's about standing with survivors. It's about protecting children. I admire Congressman Massey's courage. I admire Nancy Mace's courage, Marjorie Taylor Greene's courage, Lauren Boebert's courage. They are standing with survivors. We have the votes. Let's get a vote this month and get the files released.
Congressman Khanna, the effort to pick up Republican signatures appears to have stalled for right now.
Give me a second.
Are you still confident?
I mean to replay it. So, okay, cool. Sounds like they're saying they're going to have the votes. I was a little bit concerned with this latest retardation that got floated out, and people seem to take it and run with it. It was, you know what? Let's look up Benny Johnson. I wonder if we can find Benny. Look back here. I bet his was particularly hilarious. So instead of making fun of Tim Pool all the time, let's find Ben Johnson. I bet you his was fucking hilarious. I bet you, what was it? Probably September 5th. Although no, it's Monday, so it'll probably be a nightmare even trying to go back this far in an influencer like this is stuff. Yeah, no, that's it. We're not doing that. We're not digging through it. I just recalled I felt like I saw something particularly hilarious from him. I think he even said it was like confirmation or something crazy. But all right, guys, let's take a moment. Let's roll through the chat. Let's see what you guys have to say. Say our good mornings, all that. And then we'll get into some foreign policy, and then we'll get into our main topics. Good morning, Tom33. Good morning, Fire Pixie. Tom says, I had to get a piece of rust dug out of my eye this morning, if you can call that productive. Ugh, that sounds awful. Ooh, I'm sorry. Good morning, Nevsky. Good morning, Hispanicans. I like that. By the way, I'm white. The real name's Josh. Good morning, Tower NBC. I know you know that. Good morning, Adrian Brody. But I do like Hispanicans. That's fun. That maybe we could be, instead of dumpers, Hispanicans. That's a fun one. Maybe we could make it a whole political movement, and it's like this. Like I'm the Nick Fuentes, but it's like I'm not even actually Mexican though, so it's like this weird inverse of the Fuentes thing. I'm the real white, whatever. You know what I mean? You get what I'm doing here. Then I have a Hispanic name, but you're like, no, but he's actually white. Like that's made up. Whereas I think Fuentes is some sort of Mexican Jew or some weird shit. Which, whatever, I don't care. I don't even think particularly he's all that caught up in the race thing like people think he is. Although I don't know. I don't fucking care. I don't ever hardly watch his shit. Good morning, Tucker Delay. Good morning, Adrian Brody. Good morning, Doctori420. He says, does Mike Johnson remind you of a vampire, but not a cool one, like a middle manager in that Ethan Hawke fan? Yeah, that's actually a good call. Like a middle manager in Ethan Hawke. Like he's still like not cool. You're like, dude, you just suck. Like you're vampire, but not even in a cool way. Yeah. Nevsky says Trump was one of the first politicians to publicly talk about what was going on with Epstein's Island, Clinton and Prince Andrew. You're not necessarily wrong. He definitely did. He did throw those insinuations big time their way. So I don't know. Maybe. And then weirdly, seemingly, when time came to actually do something about it, nothing fucking happened. I mean, we didn't. Hell, he said a whole lot of shit about Hillary when he ran, and she never put her in there. So. I know, I'm noticing a pattern. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Hey Say What Now? Good morning, Tyler. Good morning, Alien Big Cat. Good morning, Knife Safety. Good morning, Gerald Hall. Good morning, King David. Good morning, Tilla Spook. Good morning. Ooh, I see a tower of forming. N-I-G. Man. Nevsky says Trump never said the abuse was a hoax. You are correct. I will give you that. That's fair. I was thinking of that over the weekend, that well, to be fair, the way he words it, and people have jumped on it, like he is saying that like there is an out for him here where he could come out and just to clarify. To some extent, people choose to be upset here, but yeah, I'm not like if he clarifies more, I'd be more upset. But I don't know. At some point, it's like, what is he, like 5 times deep of saying it's a hoax, it's a Democrat hoax, a hoax. Especially because a hoax has a certain connotation to it. I mean, I don't know. But I get what you mean, that technically he could say he means it in the sense of it's the idea of like what you're implying, like, oh, I was even working against him, and now there's turning this against me, and this, and like almost like, oh, this is like a narrative spin, and you're like, it's kind of hard to sell that. Like, sure, I guess you can say, well, technically this is what he means right now, but judging by his actions and everything going on, I think it's fairly reasonable for people to, I don't know, kind of take either interpretation of what he means by that. I mean, I don't know. He's kind of, by his actions, done damn near everything to avoid doing anything here. It's weird. It's obvious. I don't know. So yeah, technically he didn't say it was a hoax per se. Oh, and Doctor, you can't do the whole tower by yourself. That doesn't count. Good morning, F Web. Good morning. Saying Phil Abonte's 100% an idiot, says Nevsky. Yes. Good morning, Chuck Bam. Good morning, Comment Mama. Good morning, No Hablo. It says, funny, we said we're going to wind up with nuclear war before we get trials for wealthy pedophiles. Funny enough, one of our stories for today is actually nuclear material being found in Syrian shells. Although that's not like nuclear. That's like uranium. What was it called? Like they use radioactive materials, but it's not like actual literal nukes. Good morning, PJR. Good morning. Good morning, Evan. Good morning, Eddie Grimm. Good morning. Dr. says, if you're not cheating, you're not trying. You're not wrong. You're not wrong, Eddie Grimm. All right, let's get into some foreign policy to start off. Kind of perfectly bridge the gap from one story to the other. We have Thomas Massey here saying, if it is called the Department of War, can we finally acknowledge it commits acts of war, which require congressional declarations according to our Constitution? And on that note, I wanted to go ahead and publicly say, because I don't know, I guess this is a thing, people care. I am 100% on board with the Department of War being now the name of the Department of Defense. I am 100% for it. Now, I will admit it is creepy to what degree the Hegsess and the Trump seem to want to embrace that as if that's like a spinning. It's like, hell yeah, war. Oh, I love the smell of rotting corpses in the morning type vibe or whatever type shit this is. At least that's the feeling I'm getting from it. But at the very least, I think even if they're trying to sell that, I don't think that will necessarily take off like they think it will, aside from their deranged cult of boomers. But for most part, most everyone else, they kind of go, hell, if anything, a lot of people turn their nose up and then don't like this. And I think it's out of an odiousness of like, ooh, I don't like the idea of like a Department of War. And you're like, yeah, exactly. That's the point. They shouldn't be, war is not cool. Like, and this isn't for defense. We haven't fought a defensive war since what? The Civil War? That's what, against ourselves? So, and I think at that time it was the Department of War. I believe, if I recall correctly, I don't think it became the Department of Defense until after either World War I or World War II. So, back in the day when it was the Department of War, the only wars we really had were the defensive ones. So, I mean, yeah. Although, I actually take that back. That's not true. They had other little wars going on there. I can't say that. I'm by no means a scholar of that period of time, and I know there were other things going on. But either way, I'm for it. I think it's cool. The Department of War, although I don't think it's cool. I think war is gay, which is why I want it to be called the Department of War. But to start off our foreign policy, we have an attack in Israel. From Leo Terrell, this is another terrorist attack in Israel Day. So the latest reports are that at least 6 innocent people were murdered and more than a dozen wounded, including a pregnant woman. Hamas praised this massacre and called it heroic operations. When you hear this chant, globalized Intifada, know exactly what it means. It is not a slogan, it is a battle cry. They want this terror to come to a city near you. Israel takes every possible precaution to protect innocent lives. They drop leaflets, which what he's referring to there, I don't have a thing for you. I should probably have found that video. But they apparently, I think it was on Friday or maybe it was Thursday, I saw clips of them apparently dropping leaflets on Gaza City. Which is like, cool. They got leaflets of like, hey, evacuate now. We're going to blow the fuck out of everything here. Not realize, like, which is like, okay, cool. They're warning them. Where are they going to go? Where are they going to go? Like, everywhere is a fucking war zone. Like, if you, like, once you get down the nitty gritty and look at what's going on, you realize, like, the geography is almost like it's formed around them to not be able to allow them to go, and if they do go, it's just a damned if you do, damned if you don't. So that's cool. Isn't it great they do leaflets? They also make phone calls. They beg civilians to leave areas where Hamas hides. Yeah, sure. When civilians are killed in Gaza because Hamas hides within civilian infrastructure and uses civilians as human shields, Israel mourns these losses. Hamas does the opposite. Hamas targets civilians. Hamas celebrates some civilian deaths. Hamas vows for more blood. Then Hamas dares to claim in the same breath that it seeks peace while blaming Israel as the obstacle. Wake up, world. Israel's not only fighting for survival. Israel's standing between terror and the free world. I pray for the latest victims and family. I'm blaming. All right, shut the fuck up. All right, I can't. That's enough I could do for that. This is the attack. I guess what we have one view of it. So play it. We see people running away. Oh, jeez. Which I will say, awful. I mean, I have no idea. For one, obviously, I don't know the specifics of anything going on here, but I do not support this. This is not cool. Whoever did this should be strung up on a lamppost. But I also feel the same exact way about... By the way, this says 2 terrorists opened fire on a bus in Jerusalem, targeting passengers, bystanders, anyone in reach. 5 murdered, over a dozen wounded. So... I mean, obviously, I'm not okay with that. That's not cool. I mean, unless you're going to tell me every single one of those people killed were like IDF soldiers or something. In that case, we have a different story. But, at the same time, it's like, as that's going on, we have this going on. Here's Israel destroys another high-rise building as it escalates offensive in Gaza City. So they destroyed a high-rise residential building in Gaza City as it continues to escalate its offensive on the city, where UN and U.S.-backed hunger monitors have determined famine is taking place. The airstrikes leveled the Al-Ruya tower and tents that were set up near it after the Israeli military's Arabic language spokesman demanded that Palestinians evacuate the area and marked the third high-rise apartment building destroyed by the IDF in Gaza within 3 days. The Israeli military claimed without providing evidence that Hamas was using the high-rise buildings, an allegation Hamas denied. Israel's plan for Gaza City involved displacing 1 million Palestinian civilians sheltering there, taking it over and razing the city to the ground with the ultimate goal of ethnic cleansing. Netanyahu claimed on Sunday that at least 100,000 Palestinians have fled the city so far. So they also hit other parts of Gaza City on Sunday. They killed at least 46 people in Gaza City and other parts of northern Gaza. They also hit a school sheltering displaced Palestinians. While telling them to flee to southern Gaza, the IDF also continues attacks across the entire strip. According to Wafa, at least 2 Palestinians were killed in central Gaza and another 2 were killed in the south. So they said on Sunday that Israel forces killed a total of 83 Palestinians and 409 were injured over the previous 24 hours. Casualties include 32 people killed while seeking aid and 132 who were wounded. So we had 32 aid deaths. All said that another 4 bodies killed in previous attacks were recovered. So yeah, and I believe of those high-rise buildings, I don't know if I covered in there, I believe this was a third over the weekend. So I think it sounds like dang near basically one every day of these high-rise buildings. So then the things surrounding it. So these are the places where people are living. So I don't know. Obviously, maybe they have actually evacuated the buildings entirely, although I don't doubt there are people in them when they're blowing them as well. So, and then more. This is a particularly interesting story. I found this last night. I was late on Twitter, but there was this recently this thing that went out. Let me see if I can find it. Oh, did they delete it? I guess they deleted it. It was man. Oh, no, they blocked. Holy shit. Holy crap. By the way, I'm sorry. I know I sound retarded when I say holy shit, holy crap like that. But you saw a second ago, if you were watching it said not available right here. Okay, whatever. Maybe I'm jumping ahead of myself. Sorry. Okay, I guess one little thing was revealed to me right there by something, just knowing how Twitter works. The fact that I was able to see that post said not available, but then I was able to kind of hack, get through to it another way by kind of going to it and going back or whatever. What that shows me is that I believe this UK Lawyers for Israel account blocked this other account, Nathan Kalmo Lamb, which you'll see why this is significant right here, which adds to it more. Because I thought they deleted it at first when I saw it was not available. I was like, oh, then I realized they blocked it, which makes it even crazier. But anyways. Here's a UK Lawyers for Israel is the account, and it says, Statement by Scholars for Truth About Genocide. It calls on International Association of Genocide Scholars to retract, which we covered this the other day. I forget why. It might be when I had Mel on. We covered that. We were making fun of Weinstein, not Brett, but the other one, the fucking Growler looking one. I can't remember his name. Eric. We were making fun of Eric because Eric, saw this and he, quote tweeted it and did some stupid oh, trust the experts because it was the experts come out. If anything, though, the joke here is that yeah, you are right. The joke here is yeah, right. Trust the experts. Haha. Look at these fucking idiots because they're months and months and months and months and months and months late on this. Whereas obviously that's not what Eric was getting at. But either way. So it's kind of funny now. I'm realizing these are the same entity, especially where I'm not gonna lie. I anytime I see Eric Weinstein jumping in the fray, my eyebrows raise, my ears perk up. I notice a distinct glowing happening. Just a reminder for all those who aren't aware, that is Peter Thiel's money dude. He's literally his money guy. He is his Jew. He's literally when people go, haha, my Jew, it's like a Hollywood thing, my Jew, my lawyer, my accountant, my whoever, haha, my Jew. He's literally Peter Thiel's Jew. Need I say more? The glow is unwashable. He cannot remove the glow. But anyways, on this, they recently, some other group put out a call on them to retract it. And this is what they did. They said, they put out this big thing. It says, legal anti-Semitism, history, Holocaust, and genocide scholars, former prosecutors, and other authorities, including descendants of survivors, call on the International Association of Genocide Scholars, the IAGS, to retract resolution accusing Israel of genocide amid clear misapplication of law and history. Holy shit, that's a mouthful. Lawyers are the worst. Anyways, so blah, 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 blah. Not going to read all this. Who fucking cares what a bunch of Jew fucking lawyers say? But either way, they attach names to this. At one point, they attach people's names to it as a craziness. But essentially, group of people that, supposedly, like I think they attached, obviously, Dershowitz. Maybe it'd be worthwhile to peek through, see maybe some of the names we can see real quick. I'm sure we got whatever. You guys go check it on your own. I don't really care that much to get in the weeds of it, but it's particularly interesting. That's pretty funny. So the highest comment on it is UK faggots for genocide. But anyways, now Nathan Calmal Lamb is apparently now who is this guy? Let's look at his profile. He calls himself the happiness vampire, an associate professor of sociology, maybe SOC, at UNB, social theory, sports, words, Guardian. I guess he has a sports podcast as well. He/him. Anyways, so some sort of professor. So it says professors contra la genocide. What it says on his banner, or whatever the hell that means in Spanish. Now, he put on this, my name has been included on this disgusting letter without my consent. This is defamatory and it better be fucking removed immediately. As lawyers, I would think you can't steal a person's name for a public letter without permission. Now, I mentioned earlier, I'm pretty sure I think they blocked him, just judging by I said when I popped in here at first that this tweet showed not available. So it makes me think they may have blocked him. So, which is like, I thought maybe they deleted it. Maybe issued a retraction or something. Anyways, take it off this instant, he says. And that's really all there is. I just thought it's particularly, there's not much more commentary to add to this particular one, but here's literally one of the people in it throwing a fit that his name is being included in it. So, I guess they're just flagrantly lying. Maybe more to come on this, but I thought it was particularly interesting. Apparently, I saw in this thread he was able to get into contact with Ryan Grimm of Breaking Point, so maybe we'll hear more on that. And then from Brian Grimm, kind of in this realm, here's more. I just thought this was crazy. So here is a tweet that went out, and I actually remember seeing this go out, and people were like, "Oh wow, holy crap, this is wow, good for them." The Holocaust Museum put out a post, and it said, "Never again can't only mean never again for Jews," and it had a photo of what is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hands. I'm assuming the idea is to kind of create the whatever. I think it's supposed to be to kind of sort of create a similar Star of David with a hand. I don't know, whatever. Hands interconnected, all different colors, and one hand has numbers on it. It's white. So obviously, the concept of unity and that we don't accept genocide no matter what from any group, blah, blah, blah. And wouldn't you know it? This is what happened. This is after that post, this is a statement they decided to release later. The Holocaust Museum in LA says the Holocaust Museum in LA, the first survivor founded and oldest Holocaust museum in the country, is committed to its core mission to educate, commemorate, and inspire. We recently posted an item on social media that was part of a pre-planned social media campaign intended to promote inclusivity and community that was easily open to misinterpretation, to some to be a political statement reflecting the ongoing situation in the Middle East. That was not our intent. It has been removed to avoid any further confusion. We promise to do better, and we will ensure that posts in the future are more thoughtfully designed and thoroughly vetted. We've taken actions internally to ensure our message always remains clear and reflective of our mission to inspire humanity through truth. So just absolutely fucking astounding, right? Wow. So yeah. All right, one second. I accidentally clicked out the wrong one. So on to the next one. And then also we have the Yemenis motherfuckers. They are not backing down. They hit Israel's Ramon airport, despite the fact they recently just got their prime minister killed by Israel, but they keep on keeping on, those crazy bastards. We also got Trump's administration considering bombing Venezuela, and it's deploying F-35s to Puerto Rico. So not looking good. I don't know if you guys saw. I don't think we played in the show yet. The Hegseth response, which is particularly pretty bleak to this. But really, all these responses, all this gay little hyping of narco-terrorism and trying to sound fucking make war cool again. I'm not having it. Hell, even I know a lot of people Who was it? I should have probably brought this up. This is another one of these ones I should have brought up for commentary. But I know people saw J.D. Vance talk mad shit to the Krasensteins, which, guy, if you had me on the side of the Krasensteins, Jesus Christ, what are you doing to me? But Krasenstein essentially called out J.D. Vance for for war crimes or whatever, and then J.D. Vance replied, "Well, I don't give a shit what you call it," which and everyone just kind of went with, "Ooh, that's so fucking cool." So it's like, I don't know. It's just a whole bunch of fucking boomer faggots, to be honest. Is getting really all hyped up on that stuff. It just feels like it's like they're trying to recapture the vibe of Full Metal Jacket, but like not realizing that it was a commentary on the horrors of war and not supposed to be like, oh fuck yeah, woo. Like, okay. All right, that's what you got out of that movie? Okay, dude. This is the vibe I'm getting from all this stuff particularly, but not stoked about it. On Sunday, Trump was asked about the possibility of targeting cartels in Venezuela and said, well, you're going to find out. So war's cool now, guys. What's the other one? There's another one of these examples. Everyone's been giving Rand Paul shit for complaining about this too. Because everyone's going, oh, these are just drug dealers. Like, what? For one, like, I don't think the initial claim was even that the supposed people were supposed to come to the United States. But what everyone's giving Rand Paul shit for is saying that, like, everyone's supposed to have a trial and this, that, and this. And then everyone's going, oh, you're supposed to have trials? Oh, you think trials? Oh, you think they're supposed to have trials? Oh. Like, as if he's just some stupid, like, pussy. Like, oh, I bet you when, like, what examples? They use some of the dumbest fucking examples, but they're like are clearly not the same example. It'll be like, like, well, they're raping and murdering your whole family, and like, we gotta have a trial. Like, what? This isn't the same example. Like, the example Rand Paul is talking about is someone in a foreign country of which your intel is probably fucking shit. Like, in another continent that you are fucking bombing. Some boat that you're bombing on shaky intel, almost certainly, of which they didn't even claim was coming to us. And even then, even all things assuming everything is true, these are your standard, maybe we don't make it worse than it needs to be, but we say these are your standard, what do you think? Probably the kind of people who would be transporting drugs. I mean, this was, if you look even at the photos of what they claim, here's happened, supposedly 11 people. I don't know if there's 11 people in that boat. That seems a stretch, but whatever. It seemed like it was less than that, but I don't know. Not a ton of drugs. I mean, what could these people be? Some low level thugs of some sort that are transporting drugs, of which I don't know. I mean, I don't know what other crimes these people have done. Yeah, call me crazy, but like, even if this was in our own country, and no one would accept fucking drone striking drug traffickers in the United States, or not drone, but drug dealers in South Central LA. Like, would anyone support that? So, in what world does that make it okay to do it in a foreign country of which you have less legal purview over? Like, you should be. It's like this complete reversal of thinking. The idea that, like, well, we would never accept this it's like these ideas of like, people will use the example of like, like blowing up a whole building for they're like, well, that's war. And you're like, well, yeah, that's the exact backwards way to think of it. If it, like, don't get me wrong, like, I don't want them blowing up shit here, but you should have, like, there's less of ability for you to do things. You should have a perspective. You have less of an ability to do things like outside of your like I have more, how do I put this? I have more purview, more ability over my own home than I do over my next door neighbors. I mean, I don't know. It's just a bizarre way to look at the world. That like, it's like, oh, well, we're just gonna fucking blow up drug dealers over in Venezuela. What? Like, it's just an insane way to look at the world. I don't know. Especially if you're buying this shit for one, like. Okay, I mean, what are you doing with your life? I don't know. I mean, go read a fucking book or something. Jesus Christ. I mean, if you're really buying this narco-terrorism nonsense, Jesus. I mean, MAGA just, if that is true and this isn't just some like inorganic thing that's formed online, I mean, I've seen some people that I actually am like, oh, this seems some organic level to this. I think people are genuinely falling for it, and it's disheartening. Maybe MAGA is just a bunch of fucking idiots. Anyways, here's more. We got U.S. troops in Somalia coming under fire, so isn't that great too? So yeah, I mean, but indirect fire, I guess. So whatever. But yeah, for those who aren't aware, we recently shattered the record for drone strikes in Somalia, and funny enough, the previous owner of this one was Trump as well. So you're a big president of peace right here. More wars over Somalia. Do you know why we're in Somalia? I don't even know why we're in Somalia, and I do this shit every fucking day. We also got the U.S. officials are threatening Lebanon with new Israel invasion if Hezbollah isn't disarmed soon. So I guess that's where they're at now. I mean, I know I bring this every now and then. I cover the ongoing nonsense of Lebanon and Israel, and it really is just to highlight how ludicrous it all is. Anytime we go into this, because they're in this. It's like almost you sound ridiculous even trying to explain the situation, because it's just like, wow, this is how international diplomacy works. Well, yeah, with Israel it does. It's just it's an insane one. I guess let's just read this one, because I might have missed some things in the back and forth, so I guess it's worth going for, but. This is if you're keeping track of the volleys back and forth of offers on deals between Hezbollah and Israel, of which I think, if I recall correctly, the deal here is to get Israel to uphold their fucking original deal. So it's like just astounding. So anyways, the Lebanese government is under growing threat internationally, despite having already approved of a plan to disarm Hezbollah, with U.S. officials warning they face another invasion by Israel if Israel decides it's taking too long. Which, they've literally already conceded to the plan, but their condition of that plan was only for Israel to own up to the portions of the plan they already said they were going to own up to. Probably multiple motions ago, like at the initial point of which they are so far away from at this point. Anyways, Lebanese cabinet ordered the army to drop a plan for such disarmament, and the threats of another invasion came hours after the cabinet was to vote on the army's plan. The cabinet backed the plan on Friday, though once again all Shiite cabinet members walked out in protest. Complicating this matter is that Israel is already actively attacking Lebanon. And has been carrying out near daily strikes for months now, and Israeli ground troops remain in southern Lebanon despite a 2024 ceasefire mandating their removal. It is unclear then whether a new Israeli war in Lebanon would differ much from the status quo. Hezbollah is opposed to the disarmament plan as presently constructed, insisting the plan should be frozen until Israel stops attacking. They maintain that they don't intend to give up their rights to defense given Israel's recent invasions and ongoing military actions. So yeah, then we have Lebanon president. And then even furthermore, the Lebanese president is saying that he met with the CENTCOM chief, Bradley Cooper. Bradley Cooper. All right. Admiral Bradley Cooper, cautioning that the presence of Israeli troops inside Lebanon is preventing Lebanon's army from completing its takeover itself, which is part of the plan to shutter Hezbollah sites and ultimately disarm the group. So they're not even able to effectively control their own country because of the Israeli troops that are there. So they're literally putting them between a rock and a hard place and giving them basically no options. I mean, hell, even if they do disarm Hezbollah, that will likely cause a civil war. So it seems to me they probably almost are certainly just trying to turn Lebanon into another Syria, of which we have over 3,000 extrajudicial executions have been reported now. That's where we're at since the rise of Shara, which is still bizarre. It's still bizarre that we have all this stuff of, for example, this right here. We have this going on. Dang it! I've not had this up the entire time, have I? Okay, there we go. Luckily, I didn't play any videos. But either way, here is. Make sure this has the video up. Okay, I swear this was up earlier. Whatever. Anyways, here's a video of this. Is someone say, I said this months ago. Yes, maybe it's not a nuke, but still nuclear warfare. The radioactive dust contains air and water. People living there get cancers and birth defects. Israel literally poisoned generations of Syrians by doing this. What she's referring to here is an article from the Cradle It says IAEA discovers traces of depleted uranium at Syrian sites bombed by Israel. Let's go and watch this. This is a picture of what she's pointing to be, I guess, likely to have been the depleted uranium bombs. And so this is spreading radioactive material all over the country.
الله يلعنك يا إسرائيل. لا إله إلا الله. لا إله إلا الله.
And thanks for making me aware of this, Marjan. Just a reminder, everyone, tag me in these things. Helps me keep track of what's going on. I guess maybe we could see this as a little bit of a positive here. We have the U.S. War Department to deprioritize China. Doesn't that sound much better, too? The U.S. War Department. See, it sounds so much honest. I'm liking it already. But apparently they're going to deprioritize China, focus on the homeland and Western Hemisphere. So the newly rebranded Department of War is expected to release a national defense strategy that prioritizes missions in the homeland and the Western Hemisphere. Okay, well, maybe okay, go back to China. Go back to China. You can have it. Take China. You can have it back. You can have China. You have Russia. I don't like this. I don't like this. I don't like how much they're normalizing just rampantly fucking murdering people in our own goddamn hemisphere. Because that's going to come closer and closer and closer to home. That's freaky. That is really freaky. But anyways, yeah, okay, cool. Well, I thought maybe there was a positive story here. Deprioritizing China. Okay. So... cool. That is a thing. That is a thing that's up. That is supposedly where the current I don't know what the priorities are right now. So great, guys. Get ready for a whole lot of South American adventurism and infringements on your constitutional rights to an absurd degree for the next 4 years. That'll be fun. And kind of things like this. This story right here. This dropped last week. This is one of those ones I'm astounded this has been made available, that this is somehow out here. U.S. Navy SEALs slaughtered civilians during botched 2019 North Korea mission. It says U.S. Navy SEALs shot dead a number of civilians during a botched secret mission to plant a listening device inside North Korea during tense nuclear negotiations between the first Trump administration and the government of Kim Jong-un in 2019, the New York Times reported Friday. Dave Phillips and Matthew Cole reported for the Times that President Donald Trump personally approved the covert operation, which was tasked to SEAL Team 6's Red Squadron, the same unit that assassinated Osama bin Laden. Although the elite sailors rehearsed the nighttime mission for months, things fell apart when a small fishing boat appeared out of the dark in what the SEALs thought was a deserted area. Flashlights from the bow swept over the water, fearing that they had been spotted. The SEALs opened fire, wrote Phillips and Cole. Within seconds, everyone on the North Korean boat was dead. The SEALs retreated into the sea without planting the listening device. Officials familiar with the mission told the Times that the SEALs then pulled 2 or 3 bodies from the boat, punctured the victims' lungs with knives so their bodies would sink, and threw the dead fishers into the sea. So, yeah, great stuff. Now, I will say, holy shit, this is a wild thing. I mean, don't get me wrong, obviously we assume do these sort of things. But I'm going to go ahead and say I bet you it was probably a whole lot fucking worse, and it probably was not just some little listening device, and we'll probably find out more about this decades to come. But, okay, I don't know what to make of this. I have no idea. I'd be interested in finding maybe the ins and outs of how this story was created, because, man, wow, that is nuts. So... all right. Now, according to Times, the 2019 operation has never been publicly acknowledged or even hinted at by the U.S. or North Korea. The details remain classified and are being reported here for the first time. The Trump administration did not notify key members of Congress who oversee intelligence operations before or after the mission. The lack of notification may have violated the law. The aborted SEAL mission prompted a series of military reviews during Mr. Trump's first term. They found that killing of civilians was justified under the rules of engagement, and the mission was undone by a collision of unfortunate occurrences that could not have been foreseen or avoided. That's insane. The findings are classified. If they could not have been foreseen, we could not have foreseen that there would be people in the ocean. I don't know. Well, there could be citizens of a foreign country when we are in that foreign country. I don't know. It's insane. It's not known whether or how much North Korea's government knew about the mission. While Trump erstwhile untried tactic of direct negotiations, Kim averted escalation in the 2018 to 19 standoff. The high-profile summits between the two leaders yielded no substantial progress toward denuclearization or a peace treaty. U.S. and North Korea are technically still at war between 1950 to 53. U.S. forces killed an estimated 20% of all North Koreans. Holy shit. Around 1.9 million men, women, and children, according to General Curtis Bombs Away LeMay, who served as strategic air commander during the war after overseeing World War II firebombing raids on Japanese cities that killed hundreds of thousands of civilians. Oof. All right, guys, we've gone through foreign policy. Let's roll through the chat. See what you guys are up to. Check in with y'all. Good morning, Steve. Good morning. Depleted uranium is Eddie. There we go. Nevsky says, I don't think any president has ever had full access to the complete truth of intelligence operations. Yes, for sure. And even if they did, I think the Massey bit I covered today gave it a good example of what that means. So, like, just because Trump, even if he did have full access to the complete truth of intelligence operations, now what does that mean? Does that mean he has to spend 12 hours in a skiff going, oh, fuck, okay, now this file, and then like 3 people file the room, they're like, oh, okay, so and then they're like, oh, now we gotta go get Bob from over in Arkansas because he's the only one who's cleared for this, and they're like, oh, fuck. Like, is it just one of those things where they've bureaucratized it to such a degree that, like, you can technically say these people have access to the truth, but they don't realistically have access? I don't know. Yeah, Department of War is way more honest. I agree with you, Nevsky. So Empire Death Row says Doc Dory for sure. Good morning, Fat Cats. He says Juan O'Savin's still around. I don't know that name. So Cord McConnell talked to JFK Jr. I don't know who that is. Yep. Good morning. Good morning, Seth. Good morning. What else do we got here? It's Dr. says, like most groups, it's a small percentage responsible for making the entire group a stereotype. 100%. Dershowitz playing down murder at scale. Imagine surprise. Yes. No way, Jose. Says children were killed by assault weapons at Sandy Hook. We need to ban assault weapons. Yep. Exactly. Every single time. Good morning, Chaco host. Late to the party. Got caught up watching Scott Horton's show with William Van Wagenen. It's a good one. Yeah, isn't he? Is he the one who wrote the recent Syria book? I've been thinking maybe about reading that one. Syria Knife State says, I wouldn't engage a narrative this is about drugs. It's all about regime change in Venezuela. Exactly. This is what I'm so disappointed about. Everyone's falling for the stupid drug narrative. So fucking stupid. Like, Jesus Christ. Like, it's so many avenues removed from even being close to, because it's like, okay, well, sure, okay, I guess you could say drugs come from other countries. Okay, well, what drugs are we talking about? Do they come from Venezuela? Everything I'm seeing, supposedly the drugs everyone seems to be complaining about don't come from Venezuela. Supposedly, the Tren de Aragua, assuming this was even the case. I think the initial story is that they were going to, like, some other... I don't even think that they were, like, destined for the United States. And then later it changed. Oh, they were destined for the United States. So it's like, it's just so far. It's just, then what? We're just supposed to then from there go, okay, just fucking murder them? Like, what? Like, because that's an act of war. It's insane. All right. Adrian says MAGA's beyond cooked. Liberty Hoopy says, how does Jose feel about TND? TND. Am I retarded? What is TND? TND. What does TND stand for? I feel like I'm going to later. It sounds like something very obvious that I'm going to come back to and be like, TND. Someone in the chat, tell me what TND is, and I'll tell you what my thoughts are TND is, because I don't know. I'm my favorite. I'm your favorite Lispy conspiracy boy. Yeah, thanks. Appreciate it. I try to make the list stay away. Good morning, David Moore. He says, we will rule over South America for sure. Yep, and it's all going to China, says Nevkey, coming from China. Well, yeah, okay, you're talking about assuming the fentanyl, because I'm assuming you're getting at that I'm talking about. Because, yeah, that's what everyone points to, is they complain about the fentanyl, and then that's what they vaguely allude to here with this. But then even then, I don't think fentanyl is supposedly coming from Venezuela. So, yeah, I think that's what you're getting at, Nevsky. And then they say it's coming from China, although I don't know to what degree I buy that. I mean, perhaps it's true. I don't know. Dr. Roy says they're going to invade Venezuela either directly or covertly and then leverage relationships with El Salvador and Argentina to create a triangle pressure on the borders of Brazil and BRICS. You're probably right. All right, let's get back into here. All right, did you hit the like button, people? Oh, no, Hablo says there are way too many of y'all in here. Oh, he's on Rumble. He's saying there's like 30 of y'all hitting the like button. I see there's like 45 plus of y'all over here on YouTube. Hit that like button. I'll let people know. Nevsky says China sends it to Canada, Mexico, and Venezuela to wage biological war against the U.S., perhaps. Good morning, Estelle. I don't know why people find it so hard to click a button. It's not hard. Hit that like button, people. Like it again. Do it over and over again. It helps. I don't know if it does. Yeah, Ray's saying I thought it was coming from Afghanistan, or was that poppy seeds? Yeah, which that kind of drives to the point. Well, I know it's a tired point when it comes to these drugs. It's also like the idea that the United States government is murdering foreign citizens over drugs is frankly ridiculous. It's like, I mean, of all the things they could do to prevent drugs, like, for example, I don't know, stop being involved in the proliferation of them. I don't know. I mean, I don't know what, I guess what specific actions they could show to do that, but I don't know. I mean, there would be stories or something we could see coming out that would show that they're making active moves towards that, but murdering people? I don't know. Yeah, heroin. Yeah, you're right, Nevsky. Heroin, opium is from Afghanistan. Although I don't know what the what is even the main ingredient. Isn't fentanyl a type of opiate though? I might be wrong. So, but I mean, obviously that requires some sort of making of it. All right, let's get into the main story of the day. This was actually sent over to me by Kenneth Trenadu. Or Jesse Trenadu, not Kenneth. I mixed up the names, obviously. Kenneth's the dead one, unfortunately. He is the one who bears a striking resemblance to Richard Guthrie Jr., one of these ARA boys that a lot of people think is John Doe too. But he submitted some statements to this article written recently. This is over on politicamag.substack. I've never read this before, but I did read this piece earlier, but I haven't read any of his other work. So pretty good piece that strings together a lot of different things. For example, the Lavoie Finicum thing, I never really got too much into back in the day. It was before my time. But I saw it kind of doing the rounds again. I had bookmarked a few things. I was going to cover it. But then luckily, Jesse sent this over to me. Which has, like I said, it has some statements from him in it, but it kind of threads together the Lavoie Finicum situation, also along strings through PATCON, and then also Kash Patel as well, to kind of, I think it shows that Kash Patel's kind of just, whatever, it's a fell for it again thing. He tried to make himself as like one of these patriot types, and he's a fucking scum just like the rest of them. So this is FBI Director Kash Patel gave Bravery Award in July to agent who killed rancher in cold blood. That's our first piece for today, cashing in on PATCON. So FBI Director Kash Patel last month awarded the agency's Shield of Bravery to members of its hostage rescue team, HRT, involved in the 2016 shooting death of rancher and constitutional activist Robert Lavoie Finicum. The ceremony took place in July at FBI headquarters in Washington, D.C., and included Agent W. Joseph Astarita, who was acquitted in 2018 of charges of false statements and obstruction of justice related to the incident, in a story first reported by Ken Silva at Headline USA. Astarita and other FBI agents have been caught removing shell cases from the crime scene to hide the number of shots that were fired into Finicum. The FBI has long claimed that they murdered Finicum in self-defense, but footage of the shooting, including overhead video, shows those statements to be lies. In the awards ceremony, Patel's FBI notes that the Bureau staged the traffic stop, but claims they only meant to arrest Finicum, even though the video shows agents almost immediately executing Finicum. So you can even see, here's the award ceremony, the FBI notes in here. So it says recipients are recognized for courageous acts in the line of duty and or within the scope of their FBI employment. The hostage rescue team responded to a violent extremist. So they just want to be very clear. They are directly referring to this for one of the reasons of why this guy should receive a Shield of Bravery. So just going on. So they responded to a violent extremist militia group's armed takeover of the Malheur Wildlife Refuge in Oregon in whatever when that was. When was it? 16? Was it 16? I think it was 16. No, 18. Sorry, it cut off in the picture. Then the militia's leader and key members planned to meet clandestinely outside the refuge. The FBI and Oregon State Police staged a traffic stop to arrest them. The leader rammed his vehicle into the lead HRT vehicle, trapping Special Agent John Neidert under the leader's vehicle. Two operators freed Neidert and repositioned themselves to address further threats. The leader attempted to fire Oregon State police officers, was fatally shot. The HRT operators negotiated the other subject's surrender. The video shows Finicum driving on the highway when confronted with a sudden FBI roadblock. Finicum exits the vehicle with his hands raised and almost immediately executed by the Oregon State Police, and additional shots were fired by the FBI and hit passengers within Finicum's vehicle. The passengers are heard praying for God's intervention to help them from the murderous federal agents. So bear in mind, literally, you see what we're about to watch this video, and then how they characterize the situation, that they created a stop. The leader and key members planned to meet clandestinely. They staged a stop. The leader rammed his vehicle into it, trapping him under a vehicle. So supposedly one vehicle hits another. Then the guy gets trapped under the vehicle, and then somehow these people helped him out. So I don't know. See, let's watch this to see if that's what we can make out of it. Oh, look, this is a little bit long. Let's watch this.
I can't even get Joe right.
Coming up fast.
Yeah, they are.
Okay, I don't know about numbers.
Well, I got numbers, but I can't call because we have no service.
Okay.
No, mobile network not available.
Do you have numbers for people here in town?
Yeah, but... Hang on!
Okay, they're shooting.
Hang on!
Oh, they literally said they're shooting. Oh, Jesus Christ. Like, we're 14 seconds into this. What is it doing that? All right, play.
But I can't call because we have no service.
Okay.
No, mobile network not available.
Do you have numbers for
You can see the car driving for the audio. I'm sorry. Hey, once again, the morning dump's not so much made for the audio people. I'm sorry. One of these days, by the way, I think maybe when I get to episode 3,000, or not 3,000, 1,000, maybe around there, which will be about in a year or so. At the rate I'm going, I think I will probably break up the morning dump and No Way Jose to make this more easy. Because, I mean, it is weird to have... Because my other stuff is like much more for like RSS feeds, whereas this is much more for like live streams. So I think it'll be better. Although I still want to put them both out on RSS feeds, but then it makes it so then like... I don't know. It makes it so it's not optimized, if that makes sense. So, anyways, in the future, I'll probably swap that off. I'm just apologizing to my audio audience, and also letting you guys know if you do particularly like, say, just the No Way Jose stuff, and you don't like getting your feed bogged down by the morning dump, or vice versa. Hopefully, in the future, I'll go take the time to probably break these things up. But, anyways, let's watch this.
Yeah, but... Hang on.
Okay.
So yeah, he's pulling up, and they're about to say, "Listen."
They're shooting.
They're shooting. She said they're shooting. You heard a pop. I mean, obviously, I don't know. Who knows? That could have been something. So, vehicle supposedly rammed. You can see it kind of going off to the left here. They didn't. It's a good deal away from the stop, and supposedly they're already being fired upon. So let's continue to watch. Oh, they went off to the side because they're already getting shot at. You can hear the shots. They didn't ram in any vehicle. I mean, actually, I don't know. Maybe technically you could say they rammed into it. Let's watch this, because like it does kind of almost seem like it glances the one.
Here in town?
Yeah, but... Hang on.
Okay, they're shooting.
Hang on.
Yeah, I guess sorta. I mean, I don't think it didn't look like it actually touched the other vehicle. And there's another vehicle coming behind it. I mean, the one guy did. I mean, they may have like pinned that one guy or done something, but frankly, it looked like his own goddamn fault. The one idiot that like. Walked into the embankment as the car was going off to the side. Why you would step in front of a car, I don't know why you would do that. That's probably not going to work out well for you, but even then it doesn't look like you got hit. So I don't think it hit a vehicle. Like, they made it out like it rammed it. But there's another vehicle coming, so maybe there's another truth to it. Jesus Christ. Look, a guy came out of the vehicle. Oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah, you see him come out of the vehicle? Watch. The guy's coming out of the vehicle. Hands up, hands up, hands up. Hands up. Hands are completely up.
Stay down. Stay down.
Oh, hands did come down. He is okay. He's getting a little bit fidgety with his hands. Ah!
Are they shooting him? Did they shoot him? You assholes. Oh my God! Hold still. Stay down.
I can't
Is
get
he
out.
dead? Don't get out. I'm EMT! Stop it. No!
Are you hit?
No!
I can't
Is
get
he
out.
dead? Are they shooting him?
No, that's pretty wild. I've actually never sat down to watch this. That's pretty nuts. Yeah, I mean, I will say he did get a little bit fidgety with the hands there. Or it's kind of, or not. It's not. It's hard to tell because it's an overhead like view of some sort. It does look like he got a little fidgety with the hands or doing something. I don't know. I mean, there's so much going on though. So I mean, but this is, and they seem like. Well, I mean, even if he was moving the hand, they look like they were firing before he even. I don't know. I mean, I guess to be fair, they started shooting. Maybe we didn't slow down. I don't know. I'm trying to justify this, even how this would make sense. Just watching him again. Yeah.
Damn it. Are they shooting him?
I mean, maybe. I mean, I guess maybe he could have had a gun. This is still nuts. Oof. All right, let's keep going on this. I'll be interested to hear you guys' thoughts in a minute. I'm sure there's probably some of you guys in the chat that followed this a lot more closely than I did. The FBI's official narrative describes the roadblock as part of an operation. All right, 1 second. Part of an operation responding to a violent extremist militia's armed takeover of the Malheur Wildlife Refuge in Oregon. The agency claims that during a traffic stop, Finicum rammed his vehicle into an HRT vehicle, trapping an agent underneath, prompting the use of deadly force. The video shows it was not a traffic stop and that Finicum was swerving to avoid the roadblock, which is posted on curved road. Okay, yeah. Because, yeah, it did seem like it happened real quick. The rate of speed they were moving, they didn't even seem to realize the vehicle was there. So it didn't seem like they really even had an appropriate time to slow down before getting fired upon, if that was the reasoning one wanted to give. Like, oh, they didn't slow down. Well, I mean, why would you? I mean, it's an odd place. It is curved, and, like, judging by the video, it is kind of... Yeah, it didn't seem like they had an appropriate time to slow down. They did seem to actually... Looking at the video, it seemed like they may have slowed down a little bit, and then once they got fired upon... That's when they look like they went off the side and sped up a little bit because they're getting fired upon. The FBI has claimed one of their agents were pinned underneath a vehicle during the interaction, which the video shows another lie. I mean, I don't know. There was that one guy. I mean, I don't know. I'm sure people have probably done all sorts of video analysis, but I'm just judging by what I just looked at just now. I mean, maybe the guy could have gotten... I mean, I don't know. I'm just looked at the one... I mean, maybe, but if he was, it looked like he probably got out real quick. So, I mean, sounds like a whatever. And if so, that was his own fucking fault for walking in front of the vehicle. So why do they keep shooting? One of the passengers heard on the video saying, after Finicum was lying on the ground, bleeding to death, are they going to kill all of us? Later reports and investigations confirmed that undercover agents and informants were part of the operation. These agents were embedded in ways to avoid detection by the militants. Federal authorities have sued to remove evidence of FBI informants and undercover agents as the Malheur Wildlife Refuge stand off from media outlets. Their argument to the court was that media outlets were illegally in possession of protected sensitive discovery materials. The Finicum family and supporters have expressed outrage over the awards, viewing them as a tacit endorsement of the actions that led to Finicum's death. They contend that the recognition undermines accountability and justice. There were both overt federal agents and covert operatives involved in managing and monitoring the operation. The leader of the standoff, Eamon Bundy, told Headline USA the FBI HRT caused the entire accident. They shot at the vehicle and the sheriff pulled us over, causing Lavoie to flee. Then the FBI shot at the vehicle when Lavoie was driving. Then FBI agents continued to shoot into the vehicle after it was stopped, shooting my brother in the arm. My bullet is still in my arm today. Then after it was all over, the FBI secretly picked up the ammunition casings and lied on the reports and interviews about how many times they shot. Which, yeah, there definitely sounded like a lot of gunfire. So, like, it's like... I mean, if you listen to, maybe if you watch that thing with no sound on, maybe you could find a way of going like, okay, all right, well, I guess things happen in law enforcement or whatever. But like with the sound on, he's like, oh, those are gunshots. I'm pretty sure those are gunshots. Why are they shooting already? And so it is like, yeah, well, I was saying, oh, looks like he was getting a little fidgety. Well, it's judging by the sounds of the thing, and you know they're saying here too, Eamon Bundy's seeming to corroborate with what I just saw too, is that yeah, they're like shooting at him like throughout this entire ordeal. And so like him like doing this like arms up and kind of getting a little like, I don't know, I mean maybe there was a gun in his pocket, I have no idea, but it's like I can totally understand the idea of like, what do I like? Because they're just shooting, and you're like, I mean, what do I? And so, yeah, you're in this weird situation. So I don't know, whatever. Silva also relates that former Attorney General Bill Barr instructed the Department of Justice Office of Inspector General not to polygraph additional agents to determine whether FBI agents were telling the truth about the fatal encounter. Kash Patel is a former federal prosecutor, congressional investigator, and national security official who rose to prominence during the Trump administration. Born to Indian immigrants' parents in New York, Patel earned his law degree at Pace University after studying at the University of Richmond. He began his career as a public defender before moving into federal service as a terrorism prosecutor with the DOJ. Later, serving as a national security official at the DOD and the National Security Council. Patel gained national attention as a senior aide to Representative Devin Nunes on the House Intelligence Committee, where he played a key role in uncovering FBI and DOJ misconduct in the Russiagate hoax investigation, work that made him a trusted Trump ally. But don't forget, guys, he is a creature of the swamp, as we just laid out. Patel's much younger girlfriend filed suit against former FBI agent, whistleblower, and podcaster Kyle Seraphin this week for alleging she is a Mossad agent. Patel has advocated for increasing the FBI's budget, publicly affirming the implausible official conclusion that Jeffrey Epstein killed himself, and argued the public has no further details or need for details about the July 13 attempt on former President Trump's life in Butler, Pennsylvania. Even while declaring the July 13th investigation closed, his FBI has suspiciously continued to withhold records related to the incident. Utah Attorney Jesse Trentadue has been suing the federal government for 30 years to uncover the truth about his brother's murder in prison, contends the details of the operation appear to be related to the PATCON operation, short for Patriot Conspiracy. This program, Trentadue alleges, has been ongoing for decades and involves federal agents who infiltrate and lead violent groups in order to entrap others and also participate in crime nationwide. Trentadue believes that the presence of multiple federal agents along the Bundy protesters, along with the actions of the notorious HRT, Hostage Rescue Team, the FBI's Counterterrorism and Tactical Response Unit, makes it likely that they are part of the ongoing PATCON program. Keep in mind, as they're about to mention, you probably may already be aware of all the prolific applications of the HRT. Let's go on. The HRT functions as the Bureau's version of a military special operations team, and a variety of past Bureau scandals involve the team. These controversial roles include 1992's Ruby Ridge incident, the 93 siege of the Branch Davidian compound in Waco, Texas, the 96 Olympic Games where Richard Jewell was wrongfully blamed for placing a bomb, the September 11, 2001 attacks, among others. This has all the hallmarks of a PATCON operation, and I suspect that criminal enterprise is still going on. As for Patel, he seems to want to be a J. Edgar Hoover figure catering to the worst elements of the FBI. It is not the guy voters were hoping for. I do love that because I'm pretty sure that might be Jesse trying to do calling Kash Patel a fruitcake, so I'm here for it. But they did leave out in that article that would kind of complete that, although Trentadue didn't write this. So, but the little factoid I've covered on this show recently that Kash Patel has been reportedly living with some other semi-debonair, middle-aged, bachelor billionaire out there for a while, despite having this beard. I mean, girlfriend with odd IDF connections or Mossad connections. Was she actually legitimately former IDF, if I recall correctly? You guys tell me in the chat. I think she was. And then the thing that they're suing Kyle over is that he wasn't, I think, specific in his wording and claimed for sure she was some sort of Mossad something or other. I don't know. All right, let's pop the chat. I want to see what you guys have to say. Like I said, I bet you a bunch of you guys have probably covered this back in the day, or not covered it, looked into it. So I'd be interested what your thoughts are. Adrian says R.I.P. Lavoie. So let's keep going. Ooh, I see JD in there, or JJ Vance in the chat. What's up, my friend? By the way, if you're ever available in mornings around this time, holler Mondays through Friday. I'm always down for a guest. So good, but yep. Doctori says correct. They create the entire opiate molecule in a lab. They sell the precursor chemicals online. They are easy to get with a few lies. Okay, cool. So you're referring to the fentanyl stuff. We're talking about how they are opiates. But yeah, I was saying, yeah, they are opiates, but I don't think they necessarily have to be derived from an actual opium farm or something. All right. Let me see. Dr. Tori says they busted a couple huge labs in Canada and a big Chinese money laundered recently. Okay. Let me see. 9 years ago, why is Cash App warding them now, says Adrian Brody? Well, that's what they do. They wait long enough till they hope people have forgotten about it, and then they give them their awards. So that's how they do it. Just to remind, just a little signal that, hey, we're playing ball. Let me see. What is an RSS feed, says Evan? That is a good question. That's a good question. I shouldn't say these sorts of things, assume people know. I didn't know until not that long ago. I mean, maybe a few years ago. But an RSS feed is, for those who don't know, that's literally just like it's like podcasts. Anything audio podcasts, Spotify, iTunes. What are the other ones? Podbean. I mean, what are some of the other ones? All the standard podcasts, the ones that are downloads. They're not like basically anything. For the most part, damn near everything aside from like the video stuff like YouTube or Rumble. Those are almost all RSS feeds. And so like, I don't understand the tech enough, but essentially they're literally like one link or whatever, or something. That's your link to a feed or something. And I mean, you can use your like, anyways, all that means is podcasts. So for the audio listeners, that's all that it means. So point being is, and so a lot of people will put stuff out on YouTube and not out on RSS because something's more visual, something's more. And that was my whole point. Like the morning dump here is definitely far more made as a live stream thing. I mean, I think it's like probably okay to listen to for like podcasts, maybe if you skip around a little bit. Whereas the opposite is true for most of my other content. My not Already Dead. Already Dead's probably more of a visual stuff to some extent, although not so much. You can listen to it. But like my No Way Jose, my normal No Way Jose episodes, those are more audio. So that was my whole point I was getting at. One day I'll split them up so that it's people aren't good. People can have one or the other. There's no law so insignificant that a cop won't take your life, says Dr. 420. Yeah, see, he doesn't know what an RSS feed is either. My bad. I shouldn't be saying these big words. So yeah, just audio podcast. That's all it means. I think Finicum was headed to meet with the friendly sheriff down the road, says Nevsky. Yeah, they did reference something about a sheriff or something there. So probably. All right. And JD says, or JJ says, will do. All right. Hello, Dumpling, says Boomer Sooner. I think you're just getting here. Good morning. Good morning. All right. Let's get into the next story. This will be what we finish off with today, I think. This is a little bit calling this the Shmuley Gladio here. Did a little bit of digging, and I've had a bunch of y'all tag me in this, although I think I was actually found this myself. So a little credit to myself and you guys, but I beat you guys. I win. I beat it. But it was like almost immediately after I found this post. There was probably like 3 of y'all who tagged me in this stuff. But that's how right up my alley this story is. And this is something I was sort of aware of before. I remember hearing the factoid of Rabbi Shmuley's nephew being one of the main characters in that War Dogs movie, the one that Jonah Hill played. And I've known that for a while. And I always kind of thought, maybe I'll look into. There's probably something interesting there. Well, there is. There's definitely something interesting there. Someone did it for us. I guess who is this? This is Panstigator or whatever at Hippie Resident. So I guess he did it for us. He dug into this a little bit. So here is, I think after coming away from this, you may see a little bit what I'm seeing here, and that I think Rabbi Shmuley might actually be some sort of like node in the old Gladio game here. And I know it sounds crazy for those who know Shmuley and the antics that he's about. But yeah, this is pretty wild stuff. But I guess it's not that crazy. I mean, what I'm about to show you is a weapons trafficking network and what looks like some sort of laundering network. And I mean, how many times have we seen Shmuley come out like damn near basically announcing that he's some sort of apparatus of a blackmail network of some sort? He's literally the guy who comes out and like, oh, you said this, you said that, you said that. And like maybe he may not be the guy that has every little bit of drip drop awful blackmail. I don't know to what degree he's connected to that. But at the very least, when I say blackmail, maybe blackmail might not be the right word for it, but kind of like a Reverend Sharpton type deal. Like he'll he'll find anything in your past. I mean, it doesn't necessarily have to be something private. It could be something that was public and use it against you. You said this thing about the Jews. Oh, you're an anti-Semite. So, and he's kind of done this on a big stage when it comes to Hollywood and such. So, it's you kind of look at it and you're like, oh, you kind of if it quacks like a duck, farts like a duck, smells like a duck, looks like a duck, talks like a duck. It swims in the water like duck. It's got a corkscrew cock like a duck. It's got a big old beak like a duck. It's got eyeballs like a duck. It's got feathers like a duck. It's got webbed feet like a duck. At some point, like I think it's a fucking duck. I think we're gonna be looking at a fucking duck here. And I think what we're looking at here, guys, might be some sort of might be I mean, like obviously I say Gladio. I'm speaking colloquially. And I think to some extent, I don't remember who I was talking about this recently. Like when I say they're part Gladio, I don't necessarily mean that like, all right, the generals come in, they're like, all right, let me take a prize of our hierarchy, our rank structure, all that. Oh, yep, this guy is doing, this is, oh, yeah, hey, Shmuley, you got to send your cousin over here. Here's the war plans. If anything, I think it's probably become, what's the word I'm looking for? It's more, there's a good word I had for it. It's more ubiquitous, I guess, maybe more. It's almost like I've used the example of like Hogwarts, like before, how like in the when they go to, they have to like literally go through that one platform and it's like almost like another world, but it's still in the same world we're in, like, so like the world of magic. Like that's kind of what we're seeing here. And there are private players who come into, and so they may not necessarily be like a literal government agent that operates on these plans, but they are private actors who plug themselves into this inverse economy of evil, essentially. And kind of, they know the rules. They're the occult. They're able to have the tools to unoccult things, or to occult it, or whatever, how you look at it, to where they can figure out, oh, this is how this group over here, the Temple of Set or whatever, like this is how I get on this mailing list, and if I understand this code and that, and like that's what I'm getting at. Like I don't necessarily think there's like a coordinated thing, and I think sometimes you just know some shit, and I think these guys know some shit. So, but without any more, I guess, kind of getting around, I think you guys might just start to see what I'm seeing. So we'll start from here. Ephraim Diveroli, one of the Jewish international arms dealers the movie War Dogs is based on, is a nephew of Rabbi Shmuley. Is this just a coincidence? In 2007, a 21-year-old won a $300 million weapons contract from the military. He had no office, no experience, just Gmail and a Chabad rabbi uncle. Now here's the guy. This is the one Janelle Hill was playing. Now here's his Wikipedia. This is Ephraim Diveroli, former arms dealer and author, notably operated under the banner of AEY Incorporated, a company that secured significant contracts with a major weapons contractor for the U.S. Department of Defense. AEI was suspended by the U.S. government due to contractual violations. AEI had supplied Chinese ammunition to Afghanistan, attempted to conceal its origin by repackaging it as Albanian, thus violating the American arms embargo against China. This incident prompted the U.S. Army to initiate a review of its contracting procedures. Ephraim Diveroli, at the age of 21, and his partner David Pacuz, at 25, gained notoriety for their involvement in the high-profile ammunition deal. Subsequently, Diveroli was sentenced to 4 years in federal prison. Diveroli's story became the focal point of the 2016 Todd Phillips film, War Dogs, in which Jonah Hill portrayed Diveroli. So, yeah. And then here's early life. His family was Orthodox Jewish, and his uncle is celebrity Rabbi Shmuley Botiak. I also think this is particularly interesting. His grandpa was born in Iran, Yoav Botak, which you've actually covered threads. I didn't piece this together until just now, or didn't think of it until just now. So I wish I maybe had hunted down some of these other ones. But he has odd connections. The Botiak family has odd connections to the to some of the Iranian royalty, like particularly was it Ayatollah right now? I forget what the previous leader was, but they had the previous leader. So I know recently when the Iran stuff was picking up, I know there was some stuff coming from the Botiaks, Shmuley and the like, essentially pushing the former Iranian, or not the former, but the descendant of the Iranian dictator in the past, or monarch, or whatever you want to call it. So there's some odd connections there. Which, even to tie that into the Gladio stuff, I do have in 20 minutes dropping a premiering on YouTube. It's already available on the RSS feeds, so that's all the podcatchers, and Rumble. I had Colonel Towner Watkins on, and we talked about Gladio, and we did bring up how Iran. And if you understand the Gladio and its kind of its origins, it kind of comes out of the Nazi legacy. And the Iranians and the Nazis are pretty goddamn close. And, if we're talking weapons, stay-behind units, weapons caches, hell, we literally saw examples of this, of, stay-behind weapon caches or units or individuals that came into play in this whole 12-day war. So I don't know. I think maybe there's an interesting thing to be had there. I don't know. I can't help but notice. And then here's another photo of the guy. So he's actually quote tweeting another viral post from somebody else. So it's a reminder that he was convicted of conspiracy to defraud the United States in 2008, but in 2022 the U.S. terminated his debarment and said he was fully qualified and fit to contract with the federal government again. Which, to be fair, I guess I don't know how significant that is. So it's 14 years after serving time, they say he's good to contract again. You would think they'd never want to contract with him again, considering as he defrauded them in the past, but I have no idea what the technical rules are. Just because he's qualified to doesn't mean they would either, so I don't know the specifics. But either way, let's get into some wild shit here. Now we're getting into some stuff. Now, I found this article on this post here from failedmessiah.com. So, I don't know. This is from August 6th, 2010. This is an old one. So this is Rabbi Shmuley's Botiak's family linked to legal arms dealing, money laundering, conspiracy, fraud, and assault. Let me drink a coffee. I'm checking with you guys for a minute. Let me see what you guys got to say. Epstein passed the torch to Shmuley, says Nevsky. Yeah, it could be. Boomer Sinner says, those who don't know, War Dogs is a movie about two Jews involved in selling guns to the military while breaking international laws. Yeah, right? So, yep. Iran has the largest Jewish population in the Middle East outside Israel. Yeah, so exactly. More to my point. Good morning, Noname. Good to see you here. Joining the party late. All right, let's get back to this Epstein thing. All right, let's get back in. Not Epstein. I'm retarded. You threw me off. Shmuley. So in court documents, translated from Hebrew, Shlomo stated he was moving the money to Israel so that Judith Botiak couldn't access it during the palimony dispute. But the state of Israel alleged that the money was wired in small batches so it could be slipped past authorities. Now, bear in mind, this was actually, and I didn't even think about it, this has been a good episode, a good topic to bring Tyler on for, because this is actually being revealed from essentially family court type stuff, is what it seems like. Apparently, you'll catch this in the reading too. Apparently, Shmuley's dad is apparently has a wife, which I guess is a stepmom of Shmuley. But he has a wife that I guess was a common law wife. They never got married, but they lived together for so long. Although I guess she was under the impression they were married, but I guess somehow it wasn't legally binding. Sounds like some real next level top tier Jew shit, where he managed to trick her into not being married. But anyways, yeah, that's a thing. And so this is a lot of this has come out of that. So she's kind of accusing of money laundering. So I mean, obviously, it's coming from a jilted woman, so that's fair. But it is also interesting how she claimed her time was there. But let's go on. The state of Israel. Okay. Anyways. The Botak family of L.A. Is among the more unusual of the very rich. Yoav Botak is a wealthy landlord. He founded and his son now owns an arms dealership in unsettling locale for one, South Central. So that's South Central L.A. is where his supposed arms dealership is at. His grandson was convicted of conspiracy for peddling to the U.S. Army decomposing ammunition, so old that it was traced to the factories of Mao Zedong. It's part of a $300 million contract to arm the Afghan government. But what is also startling in the weird saga of this prominent LA family is the silence of Congressman Henry Waxman of Beverly Hills, who led a congressional investigation into the ammo fraud and vowed to get to the bottom of it. As Waxman said, his inquiry in 2008 aimed to answer a fundamental question: how did Botak's inexperienced 21-year-old grandson, Ephraim Deveroli, get a sensitive $300 million contract to supply ammunition to Afghan forces. 2 years later, Waxman refuses to speak about it with LA Weekly. But with an ugly palimony suit simmering in LA between family patriarch Botok and his common life Judith Botiak, she's now talking. And she points to a contract that may link the South Central arms firm run by Botok's son, Bar Kokba Botok, to the grandson's disgraced firm, AEY, in Miami Beach. Yoav and Bar Kokba Botok refused to comment on Botiak's allegations when contacted by the Weekly. Botiak explains to the Weekly that she spells her last name differently because Botok changed his name for simplicity. Okay, well, that answers a lot there. According to Botiak, Diveroli, her stepson, who was awaiting sentencing from Judge Joan A. Leonard in U.S. District Court in Miami after hawking the Mao-era material, spent summers as a teen doing odd jobs as Botok Tactical, the firm in South Central. Now, I did want to hone in on thing. This is one thing that I was kind of driving at with the Iranian implications and the kind of Gladio stuff, and then also the larger connections to his wider family network. I guess we don't know where he got these from, particularly these decomposing ammunition, but the idea that they had access to ammunition from the eras of Mao Zedong kind of makes you wonder what's going on here, and kind of thinks that maybe this is tapped into some that's been around for a while. She says a 2004 federal contract granted to Botok Tactical implies another connection. On the contract, the Botok firm lists its address as young Diveroli's AEY address in Miami Beach. So, I was talking to Austin the other day, and I was telling him that because he lives out near LA. I was like telling him he should probably go check this out because it sounds like I don't even know if this place even exists. So anyways, but because there's also, they kind of listed under two different separate places, one of which was once associated with the AEI place. So they're trying to essentially be like, no, these things aren't connected. Anyways, Botok Tactical sells arms to U.S. police and military forces, as its website advertises. Last year, among other revenue, it took in less than $6 million in federal defense contracts, according to USAspending.gov. So it's also taking in defense contracts as well. So this other family member who's connected to that Diveroli is also, I believe that's probably his uncle, another one of his uncles that has Botok Tactical. Botok Tactical, or a profile of the company discovered by blogger Lindsay Bierstein, cited on fedvendor.com, a website for companies interested in contracting with the government, lists Botok Tactical's physical address as 3423 West 43rd Place in South Central LA, but the profile identified its mailing address as 425 41st Street, Suite 306, Miami Beach. Again, the mailing address for Diveroli's fraud-mired AEY Incorporated. So the one Diveroli used, that's the same. They're using the same mailing address, but they're saying that the factory supposedly physical address is over there. Waxman's silence on Diveroli's fleecing of the army comes as the palimony case between Botiak and Botak plays out from LA to Israel. In March 2006, the state of Israel accused Botok's brother and business partner in LA, Shlomo Botok, of using professional money launderers to transfer $860,000 from the U.S. through Swiss and Uruguayan banks to an account in Israel codenamed Ezra 26. The court case covered transfers totaling $331,000. Okay, so it sounds like there's still another missing 500 plus, but I might be wrong. In court documents translated from Hebrew for the Weekly, Shlomo stated he was moving the money to Israel so that Judith Botiak couldn't access it during the palimony dispute. The state of Israel alleged that the money was wired in small batches so that it could be slipped past authorities. Though the documents show that Shlomo claimed he was acting on Botok's behalf, Botok is not accused of any wrongdoing. Nevertheless, the documents shed light on how the broader business is conducted. Yov is the one who handles the financial end of the partnership, Shlomo states in documents, insisting he would not question the head of the family with regards to the financial decisions he makes. It may be that LA politicians worry about the relationships with wealthy arms merchants and landowners. 2006, the LA Daily News reported that Botok co-owns the South Central arms firm and 144 commercial properties across LA. Holy shit. So he owns 144 properties, plus he also co-owns the Cell Central firm with his, I'm guessing, I believe that one's one of his sons. Some are restaurants, garages, buildings where they manufacture clothes. Botok says a lot of them are small businesses and some are apartment buildings. She says that Botok lives in Waxman's 30th congressional district, that her estranged husband wields influence with politicians. Yov supports a lot of the city council members and the governor. There were special lunches, dinners, and fundraisers. The connections could be seen last year when Mayor Antonio Villaraigosa and City Council President Eric Garcetti attended the Beverly Hills launch of the star-studded charity Turn Friday Night into Family Night, funded by Rabbi Shmuley Botiak, the former spiritual advisor to Michael Jackson. Shmuley is Botok's son, Judith Botiak's stepson, and Diveroli's uncle. A video of Villaraigosa touting Turn Friday Night into Family Night is featured on its website. Judith Botiak tells the Weekly that life with Botok was a total nightmare, even as he hosted world leaders, including former Israeli Prime Minister Ariel Sharon, which I think he's the one that's on video saying teaching people how to scam Wikipedia out of saying bad stuff about Zionists, if I recall correctly. Now, after Botok's 2002 split from Botiak, a former Hollywood makeup artist, she claimed she was unaware they had never been legally married. Botok's lawyers insisted Botiak knew they were not married. In August 2009, LA Superior Court Judge Warren Ettinger upheld her claims of assault, battery, emotional distress, and unpaid work, and awarded her $250,000 plus legal costs, but rejected her palimony claim. Her attorney, Robert W. Hirsch, declared to the Daily News in 2006, "We would not be surprised if Botok's net worth is $700 million. Yet Botok is appealing to force her to cover her legal bills. Hirsch calls the appeal frivolous and says, "We are now taking steps to enforce the judgment." Not everyone is buying brother Shlomo Botok's explanation for why he was moving money to Israel. 2006, Jaffa District Court Judge Kobi Vardi in Tel Aviv called his stated reason that he was keeping it out of Botiak's hands an unacceptable fabrication. Vardi said Shlomo Botiak was part of a sophisticated and well-lubricated organization that intended to launder money. Shlomo argued they didn't intend to hire shady characters for the purpose of transferring funds to Israel, as it is clean, legitimate money derived from the business in the USA. But in May 2006, the Israeli judge ordered that half of the cash be confiscated. The Botok family soon took another blow. Diveroli emerged as the owner of an arms film, AEI Incorporated in Miami Beach, which appeared on a U.S. Department of State watch list for contract fraud in violation of the Arms Export Control Act. Despite this, the tiny firm was awarded the $300 million U.S. Army defense contract that made it the main supplier of ammo to the Afghan government. That's crazy. So that was after. I didn't realize this was after they made it onto a watch list for contract fraud. They still somehow were still awarded a $300 million defense contract. I mean, I guess oversights happen, but still. The Waxman-led congressional investigation later found that AEI had previously been caught selling the military junk, in quotes. The fact that young Diveroli subsequently won a key Army contract involving Afghanistan was a case study in dysfunctional contracting progress, investigators found. According to the New York Times, Diveroli purchased some ammo in Albania. It was marked for destruction by NATO, manufactured by Mao Zedong, and found in moldy crates marked Made in China. U.S. inspectors found he and 3 employees were indicted on numerous counts of fraud and conspiracy. Incredibly, while awaiting trial, Diveroli completed 2 more defense contracts for about $10 million, according to Glenn Furbish, a federal official. Diveroli was found guilty in August 2009 of 1 count of conspiracy. Diveroli referred questions to his lawyer, who did not respond to the Weekly's emailed inquiry. Bar Kakba Botak, the current owner of Botak Tactical, complained to the New York Times that Diveroli, after working for him as a teenager, just left me and took my customer base. Oh, yeah, okay. The Weekly asked him about documents in which Botak Tactical's address matches that of Diveroli's firm in Miami. No comment, he says. Botiak sums up Waxman's failure to figure out how her stepson defrauded a sophisticated power like the federal government. He was a kid, she says. So, yeah. All right, that's all I have on that one. Let's roll the chat. I thought that one was kind of wild. Let's see what you guys got to say about that one. I anticipate a lot of funny Jew jokes. Let's go for it. Rabbi Shmuley Buttock, Smelly Buttock. There you go. Nevsky saying Shmuley played a major role in getting Michael Jackson murdered and framed for pedophilia. Nevsky said it, not me. Nevsky said it, not me. Amos Sohold, it was traced to the Ming Dynasty, says Knife. Safety Plus, yeah. And then Nevsky said, I never knew that War Dogs was about his nephew. I've never seen it, but I assumed it makes him look like a hero or something. I mean, it makes them kind of look like kind of fun kids that got into some wild shit over their head. And I mean, it's a fun movie. But it is like, it does give you that kind of like early 20s party college vibe, but instead they're like, we're going to be weapons contract. Like they really do lean into the like, oh, we just kind of fell into this and whoa, we're so over our heads, when I feel like that probably may not be exactly what was going on there. Then Bodog Fights was also an MMA promotion back in the 2000s. Bodog Fights? I wonder if that's Bodog Fights. Let's see. I bet you that's like a Botiok thing too. Let's see what that is. Bodog Fights. Let me see. I don't know if that's connected. Is it connected? Connected to Botiok. See if it's connected to the Botioks. I don't know if someone said something about the you just said Bodog Fights. I don't think that's connected to the. I think you might just be thinking because it's Bo, it's connected to the Botioks. I'm not seeing. I'm just looking at a quick Google search. Whoever said that, so I might be wrong, but I think you're just thinking because it's Bodog. Maybe you're hearing me say Botok, Bodog, Botiok. Maybe you misheard me. Maybe you thought Bodog. I don't know. Because it said it's a TV series founded by Calvin Ayre. I mean, maybe it's funded by the Botioks or something, and you know something I don't, but I'm not seeing anything on there. All right, let's go back to the chat. Yeah, here you go. Boomer Sooner pointing out the Michael Jackson lyrics, kick me, kike me, don't you black or white me. And that's from They Don't Really Care About Us. Yeah, if you do listen to that song, you know that. So someone's saying Bodog MMA is now an online gambling place. I mean, if you can find something that connects them. I mean, I just did a quick Google search, like I said, and then also typed in Bodog Fights. I didn't see anything. And I typed Bodog Fights connected to Botiok. Nothing came up. So, I mean, obviously, maybe it's a little bit deep than that, or a bigger dig than that. I said that weird. More of a dig than that, I guess. All right. Yeah, it's surprisingly, Candace Owens actually has some good stuff about the MJ lies and murder, says Nevsky. You are correct. If you go over there, she has some good stuff. So yeah. All right. Well, that's that then. I think, guys. I think we went through it all. I have some other stuff I was thinking about going through you guys, but I'll probably save that for later in the month. Actually, let's go through this one real quick, because this is one I have been sitting on, and I was going to try to connect it with some other things, but let's just do it like this. Let's just cover it right now, because it's like I'm going to keep putting it off to where it doesn't make sense, but I do think, as bizarre as this seems, there might be something to this. And so what we're looking at right now, this is from Kalani Pinkosh. He shared this post. It said, Burning Man festival goer found dead in pool of blood as wooden effigy began to burn. Now, this was at Burning Man, August 31st. And now Kalani Pin says Burning Man's giving birth to the new Aeon, apparently. Signs include immaculate pregnancies and cannibalizing festival goers in the flickering light of the effigies. So for those who see the photo here, you can actually see the effigy burning. And while this is happening, there is literally a dead person that's in the pool of their own blood. And also reported there, we have reports of, obviously I would be honest, I probably don't believe this one, but from the day prior, woman gives birth despite no signs of pregnancy while attending Burning Man. She wasn't even showing, as we said. Now, I don't know if I don't necessarily believe that, but I do think, I think we're in odd times, and I do think the powers that be like symbols, and I think they're into some weird shit. And I don't know, something like a Burning Man, I wouldn't be surprised if that, I mean, that is someplace. I mean, think about those who rule above us. We have the Peter Thiels of the world. He does seem like the kind of degenerate fucking dude who fucking loves things like Burning Man. He probably thinks it's amazing. So yeah, just saying. Those seem like the people who would be there. They like symbolism. Maybe there's nothing to this, but this is I've never I don't know. There's something weird here. There's something weird here. I just want to let you guys know that we did have these things happening over at Burning Man. So these may be portents of the future. I'm unsure. I am concerned, despite the fact I don't believe in like woo-woo stuff at all. But I know they do, and it freaks me out. But all right, guys, let me pop through here, see if there's anything else, and then we'll get out of here. Lucero says, believe in Jesus, rapture soon. Odd name for that. So yeah, Burning Man has some very interesting roots, says Real John Doe. I bet you they probably do. I don't know enough about it, but I do get weird vibes from that. William Miller says we can act like those Trustafarians ain't doing some occult black magic while gacked out listening to trance music. Exactly. Someone says she gave birth to showing without any signs. It's a thick chick. Yeah, right. I feel like you're baiting JJ with this one. Someone says, yeah. Perhaps I am. So, all right. All right, guys, let's get out of here. I'll probably have a cute little outro for you guys. You guys will dig it. But before we get out of here, I do remind you guys how you guys can support the show if you wanna do that, or other ways to find me on different platforms. If you want to support me without giving up any money, I get that. You can follow me on Twitter. You can follow me on the all the major audio podcatchers, Rumble. You can also find me on YouTube. If you want to, you can either like, share, subscribe, comment, leave a 5-star review on iTunes or Spotify. Follow me on any of my different platforms. Helps boost the things by with the likes, subscribes, the comments. Leave a 5-star review. Wherever you can. iTunes, Spotify, places like that. All those things help out. You can also follow me on Twitter at TowerGangJose. All are things that help grow my profile, help this show grow, help me get bigger guests. Enable me to be able to pull back from other things to be able to do stuff. Like, for example, I'd like to be able to at some point maybe get into also writing articles and stuff like that. So, when you guys vote the show, contribute to the show, you make it so I'm more able to be here 5 days a week. If that's, for the Monday through Friday show, you make it so I'm more, more able to be, have my mind where it needs to be when it comes to, content or whatever. So, but all those are ways you can help grow the show without even giving any money. But if you really do want to help out the show in the best way you can, the best way you can do that is with money over at patreon.com/NoWayJose2020. And I do try to give you guys back value here, but I'd hope you at least feel like you get $2 of value out of the show just by itself, just by watching it on your own. $2 a month, and that's the lowest value, the lowest level. But like I said, I do try to give you guys some value back as well. For example, I give you paywall content. I do 1 to 2 episodes a week behind the paywall. For example, literally premiering right now, as of 2 minutes ago, would be my Gladio episode I told you guys about earlier. That was paywalled. That came out like 2 weeks ago behind the Patreon, or in the Patreon, so you could have had access a while back. So I do about 1 or 2 of those a week. Usually do about 4 behind the paywall at any given time. So it's weeks of paywall content. Hey, I have one I'm doing tonight. I'm supposed to be, if the guy gets back to me, about like aliens and like symbolism and how that connects to like feds and all sorts of shit. But there's even more. You also get access to the ad-free RSS feed. You also get access to, which that's for those who want to know what RSS is. That's the podcast thing, and I do have ads in there. So if you don't want those ads, I do have a link to where you can get ad-free RSS feed in my Patreon. You also get access to the Telegram, and you get actually now I think tomorrow for the call-in show we're finally going to have some sort of 1-800 number probably, and I think we should be going back to the normal call-ins, and patrons will get access to the pre-show, post-show, and they will also be able to do video calls on Already Dead, which is on Tuesdays at 9:30 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. So join us. Call in, have fun. The highest level is my sponsors, and I give them a big shout out for the support they give this show. I appreciate all of you guys that help me do what I do. For example, I have my previous co-host on Tower Gang at Learn to Toad, also at Abrogate D's, at COVRACK, at _Invisiel, Tim Tuttle, at John Klebold, Will Bells, Delicious Blueberry Rabbit Eye Wine, big fan of the show, Torrin May, at Wayne Taculus, and then also have the Catcher in the Rye, and Andrew Jacobs, the completely involuntary Jew. I appreciate all of you guys who help support the show and help me do what I do. And in return for that, I'm going to give you guys a cute little otter video. I literally did beg my wife over the weekend, like, I want an otter. After watching, I want an otter. So watch this, and you guys tell me in the comments, do you guys now want an otter? Because I want an otter. Let's watch this fucking otter. Love you all. See you all tomorrow. Or should see tomorrow, barring anything crazy going on with my life. But If not, should be the following day or one of these days, Monday through Friday at 11 a.m. Eastern, the morning dump. Catch me then. I'll see you. Love you all. Deuces.
Come on. Go.